And here we go. PIBE, play it by ear, extended cut. Welcome. Mozark Minute. I'm Lucas. This is...
Oh, I'm Justin.
And...
Hey, I'm over here. It's Devin.
Yep. Little Jamie Jr. over here.
Whoa.
I guess we can't do that. That's probably copyright infringement.
His name's not copyrighted.
That's true.
What podcast is he on?
Nah. I can't tell you what's over here on the screen because that will result in shadow banning of some sort. But
Or get him beat up.
definitely that guy's leg could ruin my day, you know.
He just drops in.
But I'll give you a hint. He's 5'8". He was born August 11, 1967.
Oh, no.
He's 55 years old, and he is the king of what we were doing here. But this is the Mozark Minute. It's our own little version of a podcast, and we are so happy to be here. Now, that being said, I'm lost. This is not episode 2. This is the PIBE.
This is the extended cut.
The extended cut.
So, that being said, what do you want me to cut on?
Hey, man, listen. All right, Parker, let's brainstorm here for a second.
Yeah, we can do that.
We need to ask Lucas some tough, hard-hitting questions.
Rapid fire format, please.
Real fast. You hit the first one, I'll hit the second one.
How many times do you think you've flown a drone over Current River?
Never, because that would be unlawful.
Is it?
Yeah, you got to have a license for that.
No, you have to have special permits to operate that type of machinery in state and national parks.
On
Oh, I didn't
golly.
know that.
Yeah, that's why we don't do it.
No. Square root of 144 is 12.
Ooh, that was pretty. The square root of, what is it? It doesn't matter. Trick.
Nah, no
Anyways,
more math.
right.
What's your favorite cut of steak?
It was my question.
Man, I'm a New York strip guy. And only because, shout out to my mama, nobody can make it like she can make it. It's incredible.
You know, you've said that more times in the past
It's
2,
true.
3 days. I'm curious. I'm almost as curious about this duck lodge and the steak.
Yeah,
Either way. But
we'll work on that. I don't think you're going to get my mom to come down there and cook you a steak. But
I'll
if you
pay for
brought some
everything,
steaks,
yeah.
my
There-
brother, pretty close.
There is a special place in Van Buren that I like to go get a ribeye from. And I'm telling you,
Oh, yeah.
to the third sandbar, or
every time I've been there, it is consistently great.
Yeah.
Every time.
So shout out to Van Buren, Missouri, a little slice of heaven here in the Ozarks.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it. They've got not one, but 2, maybe 3 or 4. I got some walleye in Van Buren the other day. Absolutely. It was scrum-diddly-umptious.
okay.
I mean,
And, you know, one thing about not just Poplar Bluff, but the greater Poplar Bluff area, I got to say, man, Mexican food, or Tex-Mex, as everybody else knows it as, what do we got, like 1,900 Mexican restaurants? And they're all really, really good.
And that's the thing. It's like I lived in Springfield, Missouri for a little bit. And the Mexican, quote, you can't see it, but there's air quotes there. The Mexican food over there, so I guess Tex-Mex, is awful compared to this area. And I don't know if it's because I've grown up on this, but good God, this place is amazing when it comes to some Tex-Mex.
So this weekend, we're going to Cottleville, St. Louis area, essentially. My little boy has well, not so little boy anymore, has a baseball tournament. And, you know, hey, guys, where are we going to stay? And my wife's suggestion was, we're going to O'Fallon because there's a Los Margaritas. We're going.
I was gonna say. I mean, if you want to talk about just the way somebody can take a dream and run with it, that guy.
Oh, yeah,
That guy.
absolutely.
That guy's good.
Shout out. I'll shout his name out.
Are you going to do it?
Shout out to Francisco Esquivel, the American dream.
Dude, that guy has taken something and ran with it, and
Applause.
yeah.
That's for you, Mr. Escobar.
Guess what I had for dinner last night?
What'd you have? Hold on. What'd you have?
Los Mas.
Oh,
Hey, I don't know if it's like it may be a sub support, but I was on my way to the little one softball game and I had taco.
oh,
Bravo, man.
I mean, it's a
we are single-handedly lining this man's pocket.
yesterday we had lunch.
Myers, but yeah.
Well, either way,
And I'm not asking for anything in return because I simply want to say from the bottom of my heart and really about the majority of any families that I know in this community, that takes care of at least one meal a week every week.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, Tuesday we had lunch at Los Mas.
Yeah.
So that's 3 days in a row that I had.
I spend every bit of.
Okay, anymore he's going to have to start paying us.
Yeah, for real.
And food.
Yeah.
That's all we want. Give me some chicken, cheese, and rice.
Feed me. So when you're not there eating that type of food, Devin, when you cook for yourself or when your mom cooks for you.
No, I cook.
I'm a Chef Boyardee, huh?
Chef Boyardee, Dev, yeah. That's
Got
the one.
it.
Yeah.
Tell me.
So I really like Cajun Creole style cooking. I'm a big jambalaya type feller. And I really like incorporating like Cajun style cooking into other styles. So I do a lot of Italian food, make a lot of like pizzas from scratch, fresh dough, fresh everything. And then I'll do like, pastas, and I'll do Cajun style pastas in there, kind of mix the Alfredo with some like blackened, shrimp and whatnot, get a little spice up in there. And I also really like to do Asian cuisine, like authentic Asians, like pho, like Vietnamese pho.
Yeah.
You can't cuss on here.
Yeah.
No.
Tone it down, man.
I actually,
it's a family show.
Kind of the whole outdoors thing. I harvested a deer last year and took its thigh bone, made pho out of it, roasted it, and it was, legit. It cooked it.
Yeah. At some point, I'm not saying I don't believe you.
The button.
We're gonna need a BS or a prove it button. That's what I'm gonna need to prove it. Pixar didn't happen.
I got pics.
He's coming with ammo this time. How about you, JP?
A lot of times we just have to make something quick, but if we don't have any games, as I'm sure you have plenty of, but if we don't have any games or anything happen, I just jump on the back deck. I get usually 2 nice cuts of ribeyes or pork chops, season them up, and maybe just do some steamed vegetables on the other side, and then we just make a quick meal out of that.
I saw a meme the other day, and it was like, when your husband says that he's cooking dinner, and it's just like a chicken on the grill,
Yeah.
There's like
That's
no sides.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yes,
how you
barbecue.
planning? Well, we're just gonna eat this. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean?
I'll cook dinner, babe. Now all you got to do is clean it, prepare it, put it on a tray for me, and I'll put it on the grill.
And take credit.
And I'll step back. I'll drink a sip of something, and I'll say, "Looks good." I'll pull it off, and I cook dinner. Thanks.
I'm just very leery of people who don't season food. Yes. Yes.
Pause.
It just bothers me. And everybody's like, oh, you're over seasoning it. Well, a lot of that stuff's going to cook off anyway.
Salt is spicy, man.
You know, what did go very well, speaking of food and barbecue, is last week, Mossy Oak Properties was able to partner up with the St. Jude Heroes here locally in Poplar Bluff, and they had their first go at what they called the butt rub, the Mozark butt rub. And I believe they had ballpark like 150 Boston butts that were, my mouth is watering. They were smoked to perfection. And then they were divvied out here on Sunday afternoon, and they also had like baked goods, and they had cookies. They had lemonade. The kids were out there selling lemonade. It was a really, really fun event to kind of supplement the big St. Jude Heroes event that killed it. Big shout out to everybody that contributed year after year. They didn't have the archery shoot, but the banquet, I was told they had in the neighborhood of 1,200 people at the Black River Coliseum, which
was a fun deal.
That's
really
awesome.
Was.
You did get to go?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I did.
Had a great time.
Devin, how much money did you spend on cupcakes?
My accountant's not going to appreciate this. It's
for a good cause.
Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely. The charity. That actually, tax write-off.
Arguably.
But so they were giving away a real, some odd carat, $10,000 value diamond ring inside one of the cupcakes. Now, essentially, it was a plastic ring in the cupcake. They give you a clean one afterwards once you found it.
Mm-hmm. That's safe. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, we might hurt a tooth. Eat plastic. You're already eating left plastic, microplastic.
Or if somebody just didn't eat the cupcake and threw a $10,000 ring into the trash can.
Well, that's a good point.
Well, I will say this. Shout out to Misty Gilmore because she made 600 cupcakes for that deal.
A lot of cupcakes.
600 cupcakes. And I could be undershooting, but I'm pretty sure that she told, because, you know, she's my fiance's cousin or whatever, aunt.
She can cook.
She can bake.
600 cupcakes.
Now,
And they were so good.
so back to that 600 cupcake
so
number.
good.
So good. Sweet. Anyways, sweet cupcakes. So, yeah, back to me spending a lot of money on cupcakes. In attempt to look for this ring, out of those 600 cupcakes, I bought $100 worth of cupcake. And I don't eat cupcakes. And so I really was trying to find that ring. And lo and behold, guess what happened? The toddler next to me found the ring in her cupcake. Yeah. So the 3-year-old...
He almost skinned a 9-year-old for that.
I was upset. And thank God it was for charity, because...
Speaking of charity, we have some more events coming up, coming off of the heels of the big St. Jude event. What do we got? I believe on the 10th of September, we've got the Current River cleanup.
Always a blast.
Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. So those that maybe you haven't been to the river, or more specifically, if you have been out there all summer, here's your opportunity to pay it forward, pay it back. On the 10th, they're going to meet at Watercress Boat Ramp, and the event goes from Watercress down to Big Springs. Everybody that participates and picks up trash, they're going to have a lot of giveaways. I know that Mossy Oak Properties got a really nice, like, molded back, handles on it, kind of kayak that I'd want. Kayak and paddle. I mean, hey.
It's the truth. It's a nice kayak.
It is a nice kayak.
Not too heavy. I mean,
Nope.
it's a good... I mean, it's plenty of room for...
Absolutely.
So I've seen guys with the same kind of kayaks attach lights to it
Oh.
and fish out of them like that. So it's lights that go into the water. They bow fish out of them, and they regular just rod and reel fish out of them. And they're sweet. Attach their cooler on the back.
They do make those the pontoon attachments. You
Oh,
can
yeah?
Screw into the top.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what was that little cartoon movie? I only watched it 10,000 times.
Moana.
Moana. Like Moana?
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly
So you
like that. So you can't roll it.
Yeah, you do that so you can stand up in it and fish.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Or you could
Cool.
just be a man and have that risk of getting wet, fall in the water. No training
It
wheels,
was
boys.
a little aggressive.
Yeah, it was a little.
Calm down over there. No more Red Bull for you.
But
Also,
but like people was finding, if you remember last year, like one couple found like an old street light
yeah,
that it was huge.
there were a lot of there's a lot of things, a lot of items still left in the river from the big catastrophic flood of 2017.
That was a shame. That was awful.
It was
bad.
unprecedented, but as predicted, I spent a lot of time out there on the river, and I mean, it's rebounded. It's beautiful once again. I mean, there's always an element of, I don't think everybody does it on purpose. I believe in the better of people and their intentions, but accidents happen, spills happen, people tip canoes or fall over, coolers bust, things go wrong, and it's a great opportunity to get out there and give back to that community. Now, if you're not going to be in Van Buren, of course, take the opportunity to go elsewhere. Get on the bandwagon, pick up some trash. Also, same day, the Three Rivers Shrine Club is having a big UTV event. I believe they are meeting on Saturday the morning of the 10th at the Ad Grotto, and they've got a big route planned. I've actually volunteered pretty good cash prize for first, second, and third.
Substantial.
Yeah, those who pick up the most trash.
Yeah.
And then we were able to do some giveaways with them too. We've got some muddy hunting blinds, some super nice previews. Those are the ones that we're inside of. You can see 360 degrees around you.
It's actually kind of wicked to step inside of one.
You feel like you're in a cloak.
Well, you don't even
Visibility
feel
cloak.
It's just
Visibility
like
cloak,
completely
absolutely.
clear. Good job to the engineers there.
You're welcome.
And then, coming up after that, we've got the 24th, I believe,
It's
National
locked.
Day of Conservation.
I can check on that.
Please do. I want to get that right. And we, of course, will, and by we, I mean Devin, will put all the links to these events and these dates down in the comments below. Would love the opportunity for you to participate. If you can't be there, you can always donate Your participation and your passion are noted and welcome. But the National Day of Conservation is something that Mossy Oak Properties started a couple of years ago. It's really blown up. Ours being Mozark Realty, is going to be coupled in with the Iron Horse Festival.
Yeah, come check out the booth.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun.
And through that initiative and with Mozark Realty, proud to announce that my brother and I tallied it up the other day, and we are over 50,000 native trees donated here in the local area.
Wow, that is a lot.
That's awesome.
That is a ton.
That's not even a dent. I want to do 50 million.
50 million.
Put your money where
50
your mouth is. Let's
50
see it.
mil. Just got to do it 1 year at a time.
Yeah.
And it takes you, viewer and listener, out there to help us.
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't take long to plant a tree and just help clean up, really. I mean, and it's a good day. I mean, we always have a good time. And there's food trucks everywhere at Iron Horse.
Indeed.
And there's going to be live music, entertainment.
Taco truck.
There is. Tacos. What are you looking up over there?
I'm trying to find this conservation thing, my friend.
You can use that G word. You've got it.
I've been using well, listen.
It's worth a giggle.
A giggle? I don't remember my Facebook login. I found this, but it doesn't say the year. I'm looking.
It says Saturday, September 28th. That's an old one.
That is 2019. This one is this year.
Well, I'll give you the opportunity again to put that links
Oh, I'll find some links.
down at the bottoms and let the peoples tune in.
Sammy Sprinkler.
Mm. You guys didn't ask me what I like to cook.
Well, because I do have a genuine question.
Please.
What is your of all the waterfowl that you shot? What is your favorite duck to chase after? What's your what do you think is the prettiest duck that you can have mounted?
I'm not a favorites guy.
Well,
I'm in sales. I like what you like. Professional fence rider. But no, in all reality, in all fairness, they are all so unique.
Mm-hmm.
I have, of course, down in the office, in my office, a pretty elaborate, taxidermy setup that has a lot of different species and subspecies, both, drakes and hens. And man, they are all beautiful in their own respect.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the hens seemingly kind of get the short end of the stick, but that's by design. Their colors are purposefully drab so that they have a more success in nesting. It's a camouflage. And that being said, working for a company that has its foundations based on camouflage,
yep.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Here's the people that are pursuing these animals that have spent Lord knows how much money trying to perfect and critique these camouflage patterns to better blend in with nature to achieve whatever goal it is that they want to do, not always necessarily harvesting an animal. And here's Mother Nature outperforming them time and time again. Where the boys, the drakes, they've got more colorful presentations, and that's to attract a mate. So, even a mallard hen, with her absolute brown drab features, you get her out in the right light and really get to studying on her, and she's a thing of beauty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll agree with that. And I guess second question would be, what do you like to cook?
Cereal.
Yeah.
Hey.
Which
Say something
with
controversial.
real milk.
Yeah.
You're not a lactose-free oat milk, almond milk, any other.
I like whatever my wife and kids like, brother.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now.
Exactly.
This is a true
I'm in
story.
sales.
We got on, our 33rd health kick of the year so far this past week, and I got that silk almond
It's
milk
not bad.
with that vanilla though.
Oh, that vanilla mood though.
That's a
bro?
little much. That's a little.
You think
what
so?
what I'm telling you is though, it tastes like milk from a sugared cereal once the cereal's
absolutely.
gone.
Absolutely. It's cereal
Yeah.
milk.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
agree.
thing, right?
I could go into a coma drinking it.
You seen that meme where it's God and he's looking down and he's like, "What are they doing?" And they're squeezing the almonds.
Oh yeah.
What for? Well, they're getting milk. I gave him milk. Well, they don't like that milk, and he's just furious.
Justin, that cereal milk thing, that's a legitimate product that's out there. I don't know the brand name for sure.
Don't get me.
Thought. Okay. Humans are the only mammals that consume milk beyond the stage of infancy.
Yeah. And that's why the majority of humans are lactose intolerant.
Well, and this could easily be one of those get way out there conversations. But, we've genetically mutated and altered, sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. A lot of products in the name of convenience and in the name of flavor. But, yeah, if you back it up and just kind of take a pragmatic approach to humans and other animals and the plants that exist on this planet, man, we've taken them far, far, far from their natural state. And you think, all right, if I am indeed, meant to live on this planet, everything out there. 2 days ago, I meet a 78-year-old Dutch woman over in Ripley County. And immediately I walk in her house and I'm like, holy crap, man. I've got dude friends of mine that believe that they are preppers, but their idea of prepping's like guns and ammunition and MREs. This lady, she is the real deal. It's buckets and buckets of buckets where she has spent 40 years on this homestead pulling natural roots, pulling leaves, plants, drying them out, grinding them up, mixing them together. She's got charts and graphs and just novels worth of studies where she can legit and has lived off of that property. And she'll go, oh, it's really neat. She'll go on and on and on and on that, this is medicine. If you take it at this stage, if you eat it right off the vine, you can have the leaf, but if the stalk will kill you. But the leaf will cure you only if you dry it out and you pound it down and this. And I'm sitting there going, man, I'd be all kinds of dead.
Yeah, I couldn't take the time to look at it all.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny you said that because like this morning I follow, for some reason, it's just one of those people you follow, but I follow a neurosurgeon, and they're doing a study now to show that more and more of like processed meats, sugared cereals, milk, no matter what percent to whole milk, all of that stuff in combination, as frequent as people eat it, they're starting to see it is a big contributor to dementia.
And how many people were surprised?
I wasn't.
Well, that's like, even deodorant, aluminum-based deodorant, that is proven at this point to cause, early, like Alzheimer's, early onset Alzheimer's. Like that's why a lot of, older people, they're ingesting all this aluminum and all the other things, and that's why there's so much Alzheimer's going around.
Man, again, this could be the rabbit hole conversation, but like my granddaddy always said, son, everything in moderation.
Yep.
Everything in moderation. You know what I mean? Yep. Hey, those miles and miles and miles and miles of beautiful corn fields that are all over this neck of the woods, what do you think they make out of all that corn?
Everything.
Elaborate.
So, like, yeah.
Yeah?
That's what I was
Do you think that's like the can of corn that you get at the store?
Probably not.
Negative. No. Most of it turns into high fructose corn syrup. So indeed, cereal. That's what my brother said.
Yeah, cereal.
My little brother, shout out to my brother Patrick. He didn't speak until he was like 8, and then his first words, according to my father, were, "I want cereal." So it's never been cereal in my household. Oh, on that subject, since this is the shoot from the hip method, PIBE, play it by ear, correct? Is it crayon?
If you say crayon, we're gonna fight.
Crayon or crown?
It's crayon.
I say crayon. Well, technically, if I have to say it to somebody, it's one of those things where you almost say it proper because somebody's asking you. So I say crayon.
This man's in sales too.
But if I'm just saying it, I just say crayon.
Oh my God. What are you, Lucas?
My mother is from Gideon, Missouri.
Okay.
They have it's like Alabama down there. It's their own.
That's a good point.
It's like their own speech. And
They're in a parish down there, not a county.
Right? It's a settlement.
Dunklin Parish. Lucas, let's hear it.
I'm a product of my environment, man. It depends on who I'm hanging out with. You know, I got some guys that I hung out with when I was growing up, and they kind of roll them vowels a little bit more when they're talking, and that's dadgum crayon.
Yeah, crayon.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, you're right. Crayon.
I mean,
all right, hey, those little miniature lobsters that are in our spillways, eat them. They're not spicy.
crawfish?
Crawfish.
Crawdaddies? Crayfish?
Crayfish. Ugh. Crawfish.
When's the last time you went to a crawfish boil? That's some Midwestern stuff.
I took my
there.
Puerto Rican friend.
Soothing. Yeah.
Soothing.
There's real corn on the cob in there.
No high fructose corn tree up here. But no, I took my Puerto Rican friend to a crawfish boil.
Yeah.
And he, of course, is used to eating like nice tropical food, fruits, whatnot. And we show up, and this gentleman is over there in overalls and only overalls, hairy as a bear, and just slamming beer. How y'all doing? And he just did, and then there's 150 pounds of crawfish laid out on these newspapers, which of course I was like, all right, let's dive in. And he goes, what are we eating? And I was like, that, and he didn't know how to peel it, and he didn't know how to eat it at all. And it was just a complete culture shock to him. So it's really funny to see like our ways of life kind of transposed onto, other ways of life, and it's nothing at all similar.
Very and when you're talking about somebody that's coming from like a relatively healthy diet of fruits and vegetables, and then you throw him into a crawfish bowl, he's probably like, this is amazing, and then the next day he called you and told you how he died.
I feel awful.
I'm still sitting here.
My legs are numb.
Oh yeah, that's like growing up, my dad and his buddies had a pretty primitive deer camp. It was cool. It was there in the Carter Ripley line, kind of that neck of the woods, and it was just a really simple, it's a tin shack straight up. And in all fairness, this rascal got used 5 weeks out of the year, and the biggest ritual coming into deer season was he had to show up about a month before deer season and spend a month of weekends just working on it to be able to occupy it for a couple of days.
Cobwebs.
But man, it was a vibe. It was just like being in a whole nother world. But I remember asking my dad after, I was a little bitty kid, but growing up years and years and years, I said, man, Dad, I noticed like the one staple, there's almost always a head of cabbage, on the grill. And he's looking around. He's like, all right, my God, these guys have had red meat, gray meat, beans, some sort of semblance of a vegetable, but and like
covered in butter and salt and butter.
The cabbage was to keep everybody going, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, okay, like Gatorade or something. It wasn't until I was into adulthood that I realized what he really meant.
Oh man,
I don't know. Like there's something to be said for like the older generation, and like my great grandpa, he would talk about how when he would get off a tractor or something, or his dad would get off a tractor, that you could leave like a bologna sandwich in a bag on a tractor seat, come back to it still fine. You can't leave bread out for 5 minutes. Now I don't even know how to experience what he did. So many things have changed,
right?
With that, and just like chemicals in general and everything. You don't really know what you're eating anymore.
Now, before we get too off topic, I want to go back to the deer camp thing and ask you a question, Lucas.
Bring it.
So you're talking about traditions with the cabbage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else have the deer camp tradition? If you shoot a doe opening morning, the top of your hat gets blown off by a rifle?
What?
Yeah, okay, no, I guess not. All right, so the thing that
we're very responsible humans.
no, listen.
In our neck of the woods.
It's not on the head. But the thing is, you take, if you shoot a doe, and, on opening morning when it's supposed to be like, all right, that's when
you're going to sacrifice your dog.
Yeah.
No, they take your hat that you're wearing, and it's probably one of your favorite lucky hats, and they're going to hang it over the end of their rifle, and they're pulling the trigger.
Like as a celebration, right?
No.
Really? They act as if it's a penalty?
It's a penalty.
Okay. So,
booyah.
As a conservationist, harvesting a doe would not only be
Beneficial.
acceptable, but it would be celebrated.
Right.
All right, because we are managers in my neck of the woods, so absolutely not. If you were to harvest responsibly a prime specimen of doe, you are going to get nothing but pats on the back, and I will clean that rascal for you. Be delighted to.
Everybody wants to grow big deer, but they don't want to grow big deer because everything they see is a big deer.
Right, and they just shoot them.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hey,
Gene pools are weird.
we have a population issue with whitetail deer here in the Midwest, especially here in the Ozarks. There's no doubt about it. This habitat is beyond prime for them. Now, I know plenty of people that in their lifetime, and these aren't what I'd say like old decrepit men kind of a thing. I mean, these guys are, in their 50s and 60s, and they will tell you stories about, wow, we were coming along and spotted some deer tracks and called the neighbors, and they had to come down and look at them because they didn't believe us.
That's
Where now I can tell you 12 people that have hit multiple deer with their car, just here in the last couple of weeks. I mean, a lot of different factors that come into that: urban sprawl, loss of their habitat. But at the end of the day, our whitetail deer population is doing extremely well. As a matter of fact, if it weren't for conservation practices like the hunting seasons that are regulated by, the state conservation department, we've already witnessed here in the last couple of years, Mother Nature is going to take over. So you'll have, blue tongue and various diseases that are spread through, prions in the food and some of these salt licks. So, a whole nother topic that we could go way deep down the rabbit hole. But conservation works. And remember, hunters and fishermen are the greatest conservationists. I will stand behind that.
Saying the Mother Nature takes their course, it's kind of the same way like we're seeing so many black bear in the area now.
Mm-hmm.
We're really seeing a predatorial just explosion.
We got elk.
We do have
Elk reintroduced
Finally.
back into Missouri. And
That's awesome.
it's funny, we obviously I won't say where we hunt. But one of the mornings we were able to see some elk, and we called in because I think our Missouri Department of Conservation does a pretty good job with all their programs. But we called in, we're like, hey, there's elk over here, and they were like, okay, let's check the collars, see. And it wasn't collared elk.
Mm-hmm.
These were not tracked elk.
Yeah.
These are new, reproduced recently
In the wild.
Yeah.
in the wild here in the Ozarks.
And what's crazy? Those things, I've seen. I've never really seen one do it in person, but you can watch.
Bugle. Oh my God.
Well, that's pretty amazing. But just how quick and how powerful they actually are to tear down a fence.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Pet ranch.
let's just walk right through it, really. I mean,
Speaking of hitting a deer with your car, imagine hitting an elk with
Or a
your car.
moose. You're dead if you hit a moose. It's a wall.
Lord.
actually, depending on what you're driving, you maybe can drive under a moose.
No doubt, right?
I mean,
Rhino's got a little car over there.
He's got
pretty
a monster truck.
Oh, he's got a monster truck too. Pretty sure we got to get him on there one time.
Hey.
oh man,
He can tell you stories about the steel mill till the cows come home.
that's pretty cool.
The cow elk come home.
The cat.
I dig it. But yeah, there is a lot of bear. Actually, a friend of mine, they have a farm over in Doniphan, and just about every week they have at least one.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
We're getting the elk, of course, but we're also like these black bear are tearing and the hogs.
Hogs.
We're covered.
hogs has been an issue for a few years.
Absolutely. Like it
Yeah.
seems like we're in. Of course, I'm not going to disclose where we're at, but we're right in the middle of the Ozarks, and we're getting just absolutely hammered by everything. The only thing we don't have a lot of, and it's an ongoing problem here in Missouri, is turkeys.
Oh man, they've just. How much time you got, feller? Turkeys, I love them. Where I live, north of town, out there on Black River. I mean, far before I lived there, that was kind of my litmus test, for turkey season. That's where I would ride up, Black River from our homestead, and just to kind of gauge what the population was, all throughout the river bottoms. And starting just a couple of years ago, which we've been battered. We've had some odd weather events, and we've had some historic flooding events that have just been detrimental to their nesting habitat and really just where they hang out in general. And it would not be uncommon given any given day of the spring, from my porch to hear a dozen turkey, without straining yourself. And actually, this last year, I didn't even purchase a tag. Neither did my brother. And if there's anybody that, I'm not going to sit here and put my brother on a pedestal, but if that guy can kill a turkey, he is an expert. And he even got to the point where we just feel bad for him,
Turkey lodge.
Oh man, nesting, yeah, nesting predation, or nest predation is a huge thing. Of course, there's not really any kind of market for fur for a lot of different reasons, and it's just not a popular thing to do. And of course, if you live on a river like we do, you're gonna have just a unbelievably renewable resource of nest predators day in and day out. Yeah. And then of course, just habitat loss to development to changes that occur, every time they take a scoop of dirt out here on the north end of town, it has a trickle-down effect all the way down to Black River to Current River to the Black River to the White River to the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, that's a good song.
You certain that?
I like that.
I'm going to have to write that down or play that back.
Take a little note, yeah.
Not too much. Not too much.
Yeah, careful. Whoa.
Not too much. Speaking of good songs, our sponsors need a shout out. They need a shout out song too. Interest rates are historically low.
Yeah, but demand for homes is still incredibly high.
So call
Mossy Oak Property.
if you're looking to
Sell or buy.
I like that. We should maybe make a jingle
A jingle?
at some point.
Almost Christmas.
Yeah. But if you are in the market for real estate in the Midwest or there farther from, you're moving, you're coming in, you're leaving, you're buying, you're selling, contact any of the full-time agents of Mozark Realty at 712-2252 or online anytime at mozark.com. You can also thank our other sponsor, Hacker Brothers. Bring it.
Bring
Hacker
it.
Brothers. New gears in stock, also available at mozark.com.
For summer and fall
And for your
winter
coolers and for your car and for your head.
Did you see those Eddie Bauer
I
plaid?
want one. If I don't get one by the end of the day, I'm
It's
gonna.
got pockets.
My dress got pockets.
It's got pockets. It's my favorite.
What's the name of the book?
Now available.
Hey,
in
and
stock,
that new
ready to rock.
new website though, I don't know who made that, but he deserves a good chair on this corner over here
We'll have to find that guy.
and
Yeah,
a pat
we'll
on the
have
back.
I'll give him an attaboy.
Yeah.
That guy likes to get out of one. I heard that guy really, really likes. He really likes just water, drinking water.
Well, there's plenty of water. We actually, another thing, when you actually come to our office, we do offer water and zero sugar
Water.
sodas.
Zero sugar water.
Zero sugar sodas.
We're not for butterflies. No sugar water around here.
Exactly.
They have soda without sugar in it?
Yeah.
You know, I have not had a soda since I was 9 years old.
Who are you?
I told Cassie this yesterday.
Mm.
You were drinking a Monster Zero the other day, and I didn't know how to feel about it.
Don't tell anybody that.
It's like
It's hard times, man. Hard times.
I did a double take, and I'm like, no, he's not.
Don't tell anybody.
I grew up in gas stations, man. My daddy said that stuff's for selling, not consuming.
Your dad? What?
Yeah.
We'll get him on the show at some point. He loved to have a new audience.
That
but
man is
I
a
don't,
hoot.
I don't think that the listening, the viewers out there have the patience nor the time.
Speaking of people who made the difference makers.
Oh God, he talked
deal.
to you too.
He
Oh, he mentioned your name on stage.
Yeah.
He's
Wait. I didn't know he was on stage.
Yeah.
He gave away a $500 gas card
Okay.
and a drawing, a raffle.
Was it $500 or 500
It was
gallons?
500. No, it was
500
I think
gallons.
It was 500 gallons.
See, that could
A
be
lot.
Oh my God! And the way things are going nowadays, that could be
getting
like
cheaper,
$15,000 in Mad
Either-
Max world.
Either way, he gets on stage and he goes, "All right, we're gonna draw it." And he reaches in, shovels it around, pulls it out, and he goes, "Lucas Eddington." And everybody goes,
And then he like
"Hold up!"
does
It was literally this. It was 1 second, and then Just
and he
went
still
live.
hasn't said anything. And then he kind of looks around and goes, I'm just kidding.
Thanks, Tracy.
Big jokester, that guy.
I'm just kidding.
He said something else while he was up there, but I
I
can't.
don't know.
It was funny, man.
Well, I can imagine.
And of course, it's just like, in our realm of business and whatnot, we're sharing a table with him, and it was him and I talking for a second, and it was just, man, it was exhausting in a good way. It was funny.
We really just need to have like him on here in the extended cut and just him at this table.
We just leave. We all leave.
The two mics pointed in and just let him talk.
Yeah, I don't know what the capacity is on that SD card. you will find
The
it.
battery will die well before.
No doubt.
He's gonna blow up on social media.
He gets
Man.
famous. He's viral. Tracy go crazy.
I made a TikTok.
Oh, you're on TikTok?
You can follow me on all the social media platforms. I watched a TikTok documentary and I came to the conclusion I either needed to delete the app immediately or give it a shot to try to use it for these purposes.
The greater good.
Yeah.
The greater good of him just laughing at himself.
Yeah. So I'd say give it another week and I probably won't be on the TikTok anymore.
Yeah.
But of course you can still find us on Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, and good old Uncle YouTube.
LinkedIn pending.
LinkedIn
Like,
pending.
Subscribe. Share.
Cheryl?
Cheryl. And if you go back to episode 1,
We're still on episode 1. It's just the original, the regular episode 1. This is
if you missed it, lest we not forget that in exchange for the things that you just requested, that
Those
you asked
3
for,
requirements.
we still got that giveaway. We got a dozen mechanical broadheads, a broadhead guardian to carry them in and keep them sharp and safe. We've also got some no scent hair and body wash, as well as some field spray and a really cool hunter's case that's full of all kinds of goodies that you'll undoubtedly find useful in the field, successful or not. So
Yes.
be sure to get in, comment early and often, and if you have anything that you'd like for us to talk about on the show rather than just sit here and ramble about my dad and macaroni,
Send us a carrier pigeon.
anything, just shoot,
This
shoot
window
it over
opens.
here. It
Yeah,
does.
I'll crack it open. I'll make a roost here.
They'll just tap a roo over there on the glass.
And just remember, if you can go outside and hunt, even if you do not harvest an animal, if you can have the time to do it, you're really not having that bad of a day.
Oh,
A good day in the blinds, bad day in the blinds is better than a good day at the office.
listen to you nice little philosophers
Yeah.
over here. I
Well,
appreciate that. And while you are out there, be sure to
That clutch.
leave it better than you found it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks so much for tuning in and braving through however many minutes of whatever we just
Oh, it's a
talked
lot.
about. Yeah,
It's a lot.
We're going to hit the outro. Thanks so much. Tune in next time.
And cut.